Greetings, Odyssey fans. I'm Bob, producer of the Adventures in Odyssey Club.
And I'm Jesse, editor of Focus on the Family Clubhouse magazine.
Welcome to the official Adventures in Odyssey podcast, where we're celebrating the next installment of the Avery Awards Team Edition.
Today, the team shares their favorite moments in the studio. I'm really looking forward to this one.
Jesse, you're not wearing your pajamas. What happened?
Well, I know. The pajamas kept making me tired. So, my body thought it was sleepy time. I went with this more upbeat, active look.
Well, but I got all dressed down so that we would match this time.
That's okay, Bob. I think you look great.
You think so?
Well, I wouldn't want the Averys any other way. With us being us. So let's start Roll the Averys.
Okay, so we were recording The Black Veil, and we had Jess Harnell, Townsend Coleman, and Jack Blessing in the studio, and these guys were all hilarious, and they were also very, very good at ad-libbing. They ad-libbed all the time, and they went off on their own, and we usually let them do it because it was always spot on. It was really, really funny. And so we had a point where we wanted to get something in the background of an episode, of a scene. We wanted to have a television on in the background, and so we wanted something authentic to go back there.
Quick improvisational exercise. We need something in the background on the television during this scene and other scenes too.
For $50.
So if you guys could ad-lib a television show.
And all three of them, they kind of start to go, well, how long do you want us to ad-lib for? And we say, well, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes. Well, two or 3 minutes, and so they start panicking. How are we going to come up with something for 2 or 3 minutes? And they were saying, well, I've got a script in the car. I can go grab.
Let me check my car because I might actually have something that we can use.
I got a lot of good ad-lib stuff written out in the car.
Yeah,
I'll be right back.
We just need talking. A roundtable discussion show.
Okay, hang on a second. Let me just make a couple of notes.
No, just do your magic. Do the thing that you do all the time, and ad-lib and just have fun with it. And so we said, okay, just an Alaskan roundtable talk show. Just come up with something. And so we said, go.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Let's Talk Alaska. We're here with J.R. Chauncey, the leading advocate for the Greasehold Oil Company, and Dan Rover Thompson, the owner of the largest dog farm in this snowy part of the country. Now, I might go out on a limb here, but I hear the words farm and I immediately think of livestock. What about if we had a pig sled or some sort of a goat sled? We could do that as well, couldn't we? I mean, if
We've actually tried gopher sleds.
Gopher sleds are nice. Now, J.R., you're here with the Greasehold Oil Company, and
That's right.
you're obviously not in favor of the dog sled.
No.
That would cut into your revenue if this idea took off, wouldn't it?
Well, and it would put all of Alaska back to the 14th century. Let's be reasonable.
Which is exactly where we want to be, by the way.
Well,
I
thank you.
think not. The last thing we need is more dogs in Alaska. I think everybody would agree that.
Well, I do think you have a point. However, Dan, I mean, with your middle name being Rover, obviously you probably have a history of animal advocacy, right? I mean,
There's no question about it. Like I said, it's a family business that started way back with my great grandfather, and it's something that I'm frankly, if I may say so, I think it's just absurd. This suggestion to bring 1 million more cars into Alaska.
Because you're worried about environmental
concerns.
And
if I may, about our
excuse
environmental. The course of action that we take and its impact on our environmental issues, we'll have no environment left.
Then what about dog waste? Could we just approach the question of dog waste? We were going to bring.
We've attached to the back of the
All right, you guys.
You see that? Now, there you go.
2 or 3 minutes was a joke. They could have gone on for 25 minutes if we had let them, because the stuff that they were coming up with was just priceless.
My favorite moment in the studio was actually in the Foley studio. When I was fairly new to the team, we were doing Foley for the episode The Triangled Web, Part 2. And at the end of that, Jimmy Barkley's buddies team up on him and throw him into a garbage can head first.
Plus, if he leaves you at the altar, I could step in. I'll already be in a tux.
All right.
You bet.
Let's pound him, Kurt.
Yeah,
Are you ready?
no,
He's been asking for this since the second
And
grade.
when we were doing the Foley for that, I realized everybody's looking at me. Turns out I was the smallest and the lightest in the room, and so it wasn't long before I was being held upside down in a garbage can while I made the sounds of Jimmy Barkley banging around inside the garbage can.
No, I got it. Hey, Lucy, grab her. Hey, not the trash can. Not the trash can.
That was my welcome to the team.
Well, obviously there are going to be a whole lot of them. I mean, when you've done a show as long as we've done Adventures in Odyssey, the memories are going to flood back. But, so the things that immediately come to mind are Hal Smith and Walker Edmiston and Will Ryan bursting into song at the drop of a hat. As soon as we said cut on the take, they would immediately start singing it.
Do it, kid.
But I think, I have a couple of favorites. One is a recent favorite. A real recent favorite was Gregory Jabara's performance as Wilson Knox in an upcoming show called The Martyr and the Rooster. He has a scene in there where he explains something that happened to him, a very traumatic experience that happened to him. And his scene is just, the way he performed it was so brilliant. It was really a master class in acting. I actually videotaped it while I was in the studio myself directing him.
Always try to be like him, willing to stand up for our faith. But if and when we fail in doing that, it's good to know that Jesus still loves and forgives us, like he did Peter.
Like he will for me?
Just ask him.
But if I have to pick an overall favorite moment in the studio, then it would be when we recorded A Question About Tasha. It's the scene where Jack Allen is explaining to Connie about his wife, how his wife had a stroke and was a debilitating stroke, and on her deathbed, he is pleading with her. She's not a Christian, and he was pleading with her to please accept Jesus into her heart.
I told her it's never too late to come to Jesus. I begged her to accept him right then. She looked at me with those blue eyes, and it was all the movement she had.
He was so good in the scene, and the scene was very, very emotional. And, of course, Alan Young is a brilliant actor, but we didn't know why the scene was so touching. It was so heartbreaking and touching. We didn't know why until afterwards.
And a tear rolled down her cheek. Whew. This is kind of hitting home, fellas.
Really?
Yeah. Whew, forgive me.
What we didn't know is that the scene reflected something that had happened to him in his own real life.
I had just lost somebody close to me, and I started to do the scene, and I could hardly carry on.
So I think, that's definitely, I think, my favorite moment in the studio. After over all these years, that's my favorite moment. It just shows you the power of how God can use this program to touch people.
There's a show in season 2 of the club which is called Take It on Trust. And it was the very first show to introduce the character of Zoe Grant, Olivia's best friend. Of course, we've gotten to know Zoe pretty well the last few years, but that was her first show. And the thing that made that moment in the studio memorable for me was we had to do something called wilding. It's what happens when we try our best to get everybody in the studio at one time, somebody can't make it. And in that particular instance, it was Kelly Stables, who had some scenes opposite Zoe, who was played by Natalie Lander. So we needed somebody to fill in for Olivia and actually perform the scene with Natalie, and that was me.
What's this exciting news, Olivia?
We're having a garage sale. Mom and Dad said if I organized it myself, I can donate all the money to the ethical treatment of Ziziva.
Cool?
Well, they're a kind of beetle, and they're so misunderstood, it breaks my heart. I do have some other news too, Zoe, but it's top secret.
Really? What is it?
The fun thing after the fact was that, of course, Olivia, or Kelly, came in later in the day, and Dave Arnold played Zoe to her Olivia.
So, what's the exciting news, Olivia?
Well, we're having a garage sale. Mom and Dad said if I organized it myself, I can donate all the money to the ethical treatment of Ziziva.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're a kind of beetle, and they're so misunderstood. It breaks my heart. But I do have some other news too, Zoe. But it's kind of top secret.
Really? What is it?
So when you hear the scene in Take It on Trust, what you're hearing is two girls who are playing opposite two men acting like teenage girls. And I think that somewhere someone put together my lines and Dave's lines to make one scene, and hopefully that never gets out.
So what's this exciting news, Olivia?
We're having a garage sale. Mom and Dad said if I organized it myself, I can donate all the money to the ethical treatment of Ziziva.
Oh, cool.
And they're a kind of beetle, and they're so misunderstood, it breaks my heart. I do have some other news too, Zoe, but it's top secret.
Really? What is it?
You promise not to tell anyone?
Of course. I always keep your secrets.
I know. It's just that, well, this is a big one. Remember when I told you I had an appointment with that talent agency?
Sure, you said it didn't go very well.
It didn't. They were nice, but I got to look at the judge's sheet. It said my nose was too stern, my voice too squeaky, and my feet looked like little flippers.
Are you sure they weren't judging a duck?
No, it was me. It was pretty discouraging. But then they called me back.
No!
Yes! And said I was the absolutely ideal actress for a certain commercial they were getting ready to film.
Oh, no!
Yes!
Oh, that's the most amazing, fantastic thing that's ever happened. Did you already tape it? Did they pay you?
Yes and yes!
Ah! So, I am best friends with a real live television actress.
Shh! Secret, remember?
One of my favorite moments in the studio wasn't actually in the studio, but while we were on location recording Foley. It was for the Green Ring Conspiracy, and Rudy Hare, one of the other sound guys, had a friend who had an old truck, and it was going to be great for Skint's truck. So we had gotten in the truck, and I was driving in the driver's seat, and Dave Arnold was in the passenger seat playing Buck, and I was playing Skint, and Rudy Hare was actually behind us recording us. And we wanted to capture this on video, so Nate Jones got on the hood of the truck to record us on this scene. So we were going through the scene, working through it, but then as we were getting ready to finish the scene, Skint was supposed to start driving. Well, Nate didn't know this was going to happen, and while he was on the hood of the truck, we had to start pulling forward, and as we started going forward, his eyes got really big because he didn't want to slide off the truck, and you can see in the video his hand actually grabbing on to the windshield wiper arm to keep himself from sliding off the truck. So when I think of moments, that's one of the ones that pop into my mind.
My favorite moment is not in the studio exactly, but it was certainly during the production of Adventures in Odyssey. It was during the 30th birthday bash live show on the Focus on the Family cruise. And during this live show, I had kind of a unique position in all of it because I was the stage manager. So I was standing in front of the stage to give the actors their cues, and the audience was behind me and the actors were in front of me. And there was this part at the end of the show where the cast started to sing "O Come All Ye Faithful," and the audience joined in.
Oh, come, let us adore Him, Christ the Lord.
Please join in together with us.
Oh, come, all ye faithful.
And so I had the audience behind me singing "O Come All Ye Faithful," thousands of people singing this a cappella, and then I had the cast in front of me singing "O Come All Ye Faithful" a cappella. And it just felt like a preview of heaven.
After all those years in the studio, we have a lot of amazing moments to choose from.
But it's fun hearing about those moments that don't make the show. Would you like some tea, Bob?
What? Yes. Whatever happened to the upbeat, active look?
Oh, well, these warm memories in the studio, they just got me in the mood for tea. And you can't have a cozy drink without being in cozy clothes.
Your logic is impeccable, but I already changed.
Well,
oh well. At least cozy is a good transition point.
Is it?
Yeah. I've really enjoyed all the cozy Odyssey family time events we've been doing lately.
Oh, as have we all. Hearing from the actors, the writers, the sound designers, the composers.
Unfortunately, we know that all good things, at least in this world, must come to an end.
So family time is going away?
Well, not going away exactly. You can still watch the videos with links on our website. That's at witsend.org/familytime. But we are winding down creation of new videos to focus our full attention on Adventures in Odyssey audio dramas.
Oh, so I take it the Odyssey team has been hard at work continuing the development of future adventures.
Oh, yeah. Nothing is slowed down here. In fact, we recorded a little something for our fans in one of our recent meetings.
Hi, Odyssey fans.
Hello.
Hi.
Howdy.
Just wanted you to see that we are still meeting during this time. We're still making progress on future Adventures in Odyssey episodes that we hope to share with you soon. Hope you are well and safe with your family. And from our family to yours, thanks for listening, and we will see you soon. See you guys.
Bye, everyone. Lots of good stuff coming up.
And just a few days ago, we recorded our first ever remote recording with the actors in their home studios.
Well, I'll finish up with him after this break, and you can take over the rest of the hour.
Okay, but it might seem a little weird when how Satan deceives us is followed by a discussion of whether or not the superhero Brawny Boy should start a new business opening pickle jars. I know it's going to come up again.
Oh, well, the listeners have adjusted so far.
I guess. So you're feeling better about your show now?
It just took the right caller. Somebody who made a few regrettable mistakes and needed to talk to an understanding, relatable voice.
Connie,
Jason, what's the matter?
is your mic live?
No, we're on a commercial.
Wow, that's great. It sounds like things are moving ahead with Adventures in Odyssey, even during this unique time.
Another nice segue. Hey, during this unique time, that 28-day free trial of the club is still available. No credit card required. If you're looking to hear over 900 episodes of Adventures in Odyssey and a whole lot more, now is your chance.
Plus, you can still check out Focus at Home, featuring a bunch of free streaming content for a limited time. It's perfect for binge watching.
And finally today, now that album 68, Out of the Blue, is all wrapped up, you likely have some questions about it for the Odyssey team.
Or maybe you just have questions about Odyssey in general.
Feel free to call us at 1-855-784-WIT to leave a question. Always make sure you have your parents' permission first. Who knows, you may get to hear your question on a future podcast.
But that's all for this episode of the official Adventures in Odyssey podcast, a presentation to focus on the family. You can visit us online at witsend.org/podcast.
Or call us at Focus on the Family. It's 1-800-A-FAMILY. We're here to help. I'm Bob.
And I'm Jesse, reminding you that with God in your life, every day is an adventure.